one more to go. That's not anything. It may help if I didn't have this torch going. I've seen one helmet, one sword, and 2 crystals. There's another crystal.
The being was created to banish the High Ones from existence, but to do that, we need something from them.
There we go. Trying to.
By the name of the sun. Is that?
High One. We have made it. How are you feeling, Prophet? Luring the echo like that, it must have strained you.
It has, but I'll cope. This place, it feels peculiar.
It does, indeed. We are in the consciousness of a past civilization. Do you see that up there? Yaela was right after all. This is our Numenors, the essence of a High One.
I wish this.
How am I supposed to get to it?
Unbelievable. I have done it. In spite of everything.
Doesn't the High One feel that we're here? Why doesn't he do anything?
We are in his thoughts. What could you do against that? Time does not exist here. At least not as we know it.
So what now? How do we get the essence inside the container?
We will see about that. Maybe that question will answer itself. Sharon, do it. Carry the container to the essence.
As you command, Aranthio.
I can't actually move. I would move closer if I could.
What is it? What are you waiting for?
Tell me, Aranthio. Back in the ruins, when the High One showed you that memory, It was the first time I saw you express real agitation. Not anger, but agitation. What you did to your son, do you regret it, I wonder? That you abandoned him in exchange for prestige and power?
What?
I don't think you do. What got to you was being reminded of your own failure. Regret. You don't know that feeling. You never have. Not even after Kira.
Child, what are you?
I hired the mercenaries with Khalid. I helped him kill Lashari. And I let the Neramis into the city. And still, you don't have the slightest idea who I am.
What?
By... you were there. The night of 1,000 fires.
Yes. I survived your massacre. One of only a few.
Then you did not follow my son because you shared his ideals. You did it to get to me. What for, Yusna? Justice?
Justice. I am done with this world, Arathiel. I have been for a long time now. The only reason why I'm still here is a promise I made to someone. The promise that one day, I will be the one who takes everything from you.
Yusna, this is madness. Whatever you are planning to do, it will affect the whole world, not just me. If you want my death, why not just wait, damn it? Once we have lit the beacon, Korek will kill me. That way, all those innocent lives will be.
Just shut up! You take me for such a fool? As if there's anything in this world you would want more than to die a martyr! Tealor Arathiel, conqueror of the High Ones, savior of mankind. You like the sound of that, don't you? You like it so much. You know, at first, I was so frustrated with all the setbacks. When the Prophet saved Lashari's research in Aldrashengrad, and when Quarek's first attack on the city didn't succeed. But then I realized that all of this would be so much more gratifying than anything else I could do to you. Your final attempt, and so close to your target, only to fail by my hand.
You asked me once what my daughter's name was. Do you remember?
Yes, I beg you, please.
Lena. Her name was Lena.
Uh-oh.
That's impossible.
What? What is it? What is it, Taylor?
You fool. Miserable, selfish fool! You killed us all!
Impressive, Arathiel. You really were close. A shame that you were too preoccupied with yourself to see it coming.
Beasts! You damn beasts! He was possessed from the start!
Oh no, Arathiel. I am afraid that is only half true. We reap, but you sowed. Of course we possessed him, but you did all the heavy lifting back in Kira, when you gave the order to massacre everyone dear to him, including his wife and his poor daughter. And so, it is a happy ending after all, isn't it? Without the Numinos, you have nothing to use the beacon's power on. And the only thing it is good for now is the destruction of your own beloved city. It will be a feast, and there will be nothing left of you once we've devoured you. Nothing but cold, gray flesh. It is just as we said. You have failed as you always have done. What is it, Aranthio? Lost your tongue?
No. No. I have not. Not at all. You have just presented me with a solution.
Are you deaf? There is no solution. The cleansing will happen, and you will all die.
Yes. Yes, we will. Your Messiah, the citizens of the city, the armies, we will all burn like the sun. And then, it will be over.
You're fantasizing, Aranthio. Without...
Not this time.
What?
Here we must go our separate ways. Believe me, I wish it were otherwise. But in your condition, you would just be a burden. And I cannot afford any risks.
What?
I'm sorry.
What are you talking about? What are you planning?
The High Ones are right. We cannot use the beacon to banish them anymore. But do you remember what the Archmagister said? Without the Numinos, the beacon's energy would burst out without direction.
Yes, which is why we went to find the Numinos in the first place. Lighting the beacon without it would only
Cause a massive explosion, yes. And that is the only thing we can do for mankind now. Koarek was and is essential to the High One's plan. Whatever shape the actual cleansing takes, he wants to make sure it will happen. And we, Prophet, we may have failed in breaking the cycle for ourselves, but not for the others.
the others?
The other people of this world. Araziel, Kira, Kile. They're affected by the cycle as much as Enderal. And I know that there must be people like us. People who have had the same dreams and feel what is about to happen. And if we kill Koarek and his armies, we buy these people time. Time to gather knowledge. Time to build a new beacon. And time to light it themselves.
So you want to blow up the beacon. But what about the city? What about all the people who'll die?
Those whom the Narimes have not yet massacred anyway, you mean? They will die, as you and I will. But they will do so for mankind's salvation. And this is something worth dying for. It is the only way, don't you see? Either we die here, rotting with the Pyreans, or we choose to give our death meaning by at least stopping this fanatic Koarek and his armies. The High Ones are a lot weaker than they pretend to be. I feel it. We were so close to destroying them. And I have faith in the others out there who will fight them. They will succeed where this scum Skyrim made us fail.
What? Have you lost your mind? We can't put a death sentence over all Enderal just for some vague hope. These people, they trust you, Aranthiel.
So, a shepherd cannot decide the fate of his sheep. What is this really about, Prophet? Your life? The life of this woman who's so dear to you? Now is not the time for arrogance and selfishness. All of this is about more than just us. That you fail to see this disappoints me, Prophet. I thought better of you than that. But it does not matter anymore. I've made my choice. I'm sorry.
It all begins with the dreams. Breathe.
Veiled woman again? She's helped me before. Maybe again. Still in the same
Into
place.
the mind of a High One? I hope you're joking. This was their last stand. They are afraid of us. I feel it. You've killed us! You've killed us all! You have just shown me the solution.
Investigate the portal. For some reason I'm not healing.
This is impossible.
What the? Who are you? What is this place?
Why are you here? Be gone, Phantom. Be gone and leave me to my slumber.
Phantom? What in blazes are you talking about? What's the meaning of this?
Then this isn't a dream. You really are here. But why? The Prophet dies when the Emperor leaves him. This is the course of the game. It has always been so. Explain
game?
yourself. How did you find this place? And why do you still exist?
The Veiled Woman. She healed me and opened a portal. She kind of healed me.
Her? But why? She does not have a mind. She does not have feelings. So why should she do this? But still you speak the truth. I can feel it. Then could it really be that the unlikeliest of all eventualities has become reality and brought you here?
The unlikeliest of all eventualities? Are you saying that my being here is coincidence?
Coincidence or caprice, I do not know. The Veiled Woman cannot be understood.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Who are you? What are you?
I am sorry. It's been too long since I've spoken to anyone. I have had many names. The Arcarians called me the God of Death. The Moonskin people, the Warden of Dreams. The Pyreans, the Demon of the Deep. For your people I am, or was, the Black Guardian.
We heard about Black Guardian a few times.
Those names I know. However, I am none of these, neither god nor demon. I am only an eye, condemned to observe again and again.
You knew the Pyreans? By the gods. How old are you?
As you measure time, older than your most daring chronicles go back, by far.
I have seen them all, since our people fell. Every civilization, every cleansing, every turn of the cycle.
Then you somehow survived the cleansing of your civilization. Are you one of the ancient starlings?
What? No. The Starlings came long after me. I was only a fool who wanted to save his own skin at any cost. I knew the cleansing would come. I had known it long before the Red Madness and the war started. But I also knew that fighting it as my people did, and as most do, was pointless. So I looked for another way to prevail. And I found it. What you see here is the result. The Goliath. As I like to call it back then.
The Goliath? What exactly is that?
What is it? My self-dug grave. What it was meant to be was a body of steel, an immortal machine with which I planned to merge my consciousness. Only organic life could be reaped by the High Ones, and I thought that by becoming a machine, I could fool them. By the name of the sun, how brilliant I thought myself. I wanted to become a god, laughing in the face of time. But let me spare you my self-pity. What happened, happened.
So you plan to outlive your own people. To what point? Living in a dead world?
No. Joining the Goliath meant immortality. All I had to do was sleep and awaken once more when the cycle started again, and new life came forth. Except that this new life would not have been defenseless. I would have been a true god to them, one capable of protecting them from the High Ones. No imaginary figure like the Creator. No false gods like the Lightborn were, to speak in your language.
But your plan did work. You built this machine, became it, and survived the cleansing.
As the only one of my people? Yes. But it happened faster than it should have. And when the cleansing occurred, the Goliath was not yet finished. And as the Emperor unleashed the light, I had no choice but to complete the joining too early. A fatal error, as it turned out. I did survive, yes. But I am trapped inside this unfinished machine. And ever since then, all I can do is watch. Again and again.
What do you mean? You can only watch? We are thousands of leagues into the deep here, aren't we?
Yes. But a part of the Goliath is the eye. It allows me to see what happens on the surface everywhere. Not as literal as you imagine, of course. I see schemes, feel emotions, similar to your gift, to the Echo. But they are enough to understand.
To be clear, you have been here since the High Ones devoured your people.
Yes. It was not how I planned it. The Goliath in its final form was meant to be divine. A synthesis of man and steel. But I overestimated myself. And I acted too quickly, driven by fear.
We haven't lost yet. Whether the High Ones triumph or not depends on what What happens after Arantheor has blown up the beacon?
No, you do not understand. You are stumbling through the fog, even now that it is almost over. By themselves, the High Ones are not the problem. If we would just see them as they really are, they would become powerless.
Powerless?
Yes. It is hard to put into words. I myself do not know everything about the High Ones. Only that they are part of something we call the cycle. The civilization arises and blossoms, and then, always at the same stage of their development, the High Ones appear, and with them, the Red Madness. People start losing their minds, wars erupt, and chaos rules. Until 2 or 3 years later, the cleansing happens. The moment when the High Ones devour the collective consciousness, the gathered minds of this civilization, to give birth to a new one of their own. Despite all of this, nobody knows what drives them. Perhaps they act out of malice, out of an urge to survive, or perhaps they do not even have a will of their own, but are like a force of nature. But I do know one thing, as powerful as they might be, it is mankind who gives them that power. We make them into what they are, because what nobody understands is simply this. The High Ones feed on what humanity has the most of, their ego, greed, pride, fear, and their everlasting search for an enemy who is responsible for all their misery. It is those traits the High Ones make use of. These characteristics are what make us human. And by themselves, they are harmless. Only when we bury them, when we deny them, then they play into the High Ones' hands. So why is this, you ask? It is simple. The High Ones alone cannot make the cleansing happen. Only a human can. With the beacon, my knowledge about it is as limited as my knowledge about the cycle. It has existed since the beginning of time, and despite what you might now believe, the ancient writings about it are true. Lit by the ones who carry the Numenos, it can banish the High Ones once and for all. But it can also destroy us. Because what happens when it is lit without a core is far more than an explosion. It is the cleansing, the triumph of the High Ones. And even as we speak, a human, Tealor Orinthiol, has done it again. A bright light will appear from the heart of the machine and open a hole in the sky. And within hours, it will spread throughout the world, and they will all feel it. A fire that burns them from within. A white light which will break through their flesh.